Bernie, to play a game at Marist, what does that mean to the club to, I guess, connect to a school around here and have some students there out there?
Yeah, I mean, our schools are very important to the program. We want to make sure that we are connecting as much as possible to that younger generation. We've always prided ourselves on bringing local talent through into the Brumbies organisation, showing that there is a pathway from the local competition into the Brumbies. Marist, ever since I've known, have been one of the best rugby schools in Canberra. A number of the Brumbies players in the first couple of years of the Brumbies came out of Marist. They were the best players in Canberra for a number of years there, certainly leading into 1996 when the Brumbies first started up. We've been back there over the last couple of years to train and engage with the kids and sort of show the product that we have to the kids. And then we get the opportunity tomorrow to play in front of them. So school's going to shut down from 1:30. The kids are all going to come out on the field. It'll be an amazing atmosphere. Like, it's a really good little field there. It's got natural stands on one side, the proper stand on the other side. But I think a bit of a cauldron there where the kids will come out and create a really good atmosphere for the boys to play in front of. So there's kind of two things. One, we're going to get a really good atmosphere at the game, and two, we get to showcase our game to kids who are passionate about rugby.
Nice to have that buy-in from the school as well, to let the kids knock off a little bit early and watch you game. Yeah,
we've had really good support from Marist. Obviously sort of trying to take some of our training sessions to different schools around Canberra. Marist have always put their hand up and said they'd accommodate us. They've been very generous with the kids' times, making sure that the kids can actually interact with the players, and likewise the players can see some of the supporter base up close and real.
In terms of your squad, the guys that come in for a taste that didn't play that first game, what do you expect from those boys?
We've rotated a couple of guys around from the bench position into the starting position. It's an opportunity for them just to prepare themselves for our first round game. So trial games are for testing all the systems that you put in place, testing the training program that we put in place to see whether the boys are prepared. But it's really about giving the players that experience to prep themselves on game day, getting their mental space right, making sure that they're coming into a game and understand the physical aspects of the game that sometimes you can't simulate in training. Making sure that they're sort of ticking those off in terms of the preparation, but then also going through that challenge of full contact. And we were pretty pleased with the way we started the game, the way we finished the game in barrel, particularly in those elements. The fundamentals of our game plus the contact areas were really strong. We want to make sure that the guys get another opportunity there to make sure that they're ready for round one.
In terms of balancing guys' different workloads and that kind of thing, like your Wallabies boys are at a pretty short pre-season, how difficult has it been to sort of manage all of that?
Every year the Wallabies come back at different stages. This year it's been a really short run for them, so back on the 13th of January, and really only gave us 2 weeks of prep before we got into a trial week. So it's a short runway for those players. We haven't picked the bulk of them this week. Noah's the only one that's coming back into the team this week. The rest of them are still in a training cycle. We want to make sure that we're giving them the best opportunity to perform when they actually have to get out there and perform. So, it's been challenging like every other year. I think our program this year has been really well put together by the assistant coaches. We've trained really hard. The boys have really applied themselves pre-Christmas in terms of their training ethic. And we've hit some really good numbers, but you miss that small contingent of Wallaby players that aren't there. So we're trying to build that connection. We've certainly been trying to build that connection over the last 3 weeks with those Wallaby players, but we still feel that they need another week here to to make sure that they're 100% prepped to go out there on the field.
Touching on Bobby, where's he at?
Just picked up a little hamstring last week. Not a major injury that is going to rule him out for the season, luckily. So working through that rehab process at the moment, and you sort of take it day by day. In any rehab program, you're trying to tick off some boxes along the way, and once you've hit a hurdle in terms of strength markers and all that, you can sort of progress to the next level. And he's progressing really well. He's responded exceptionally well to all the treatment, to the rehab program that's been put in front of him, and he's ahead of schedule at this stage, with no firm return to play date yet.
David playing at 12, is he likely to sort of get the first crack at that jersey in round one?
He's been very impressive. David Featherwhite's been very impressive at training. He came into our program from the Rebels, and he got a stint with the Wallabies last season. When the Wallabies started their campaign last year, David was picked in that extended squad, and then spent a fair bit of time in Wallaby camp up there, and proved that he was extremely valuable to their environment. And we've seen the same here. He's really skillful, very powerful. His knowledge of the game is really good. So he played well last week. He put a good marker on the board there, and we'll see how he goes this week. We haven't selected the team for next week yet, but the guys who performed well last week, most of those guys get another opportunity this week to see how they go.
I was going to ask Steve, how important is that consistency in selection for the trial matches out of the new season?
I think consistency in selection helps throughout the year, and we certainly saw that going into the finals last year. We tried to make sure the players had a combination moving into the final series last year, and it's something that we're always challenged with as coaches, to try and find that right combination. At the start of the season, we want to give everyone equal opportunity. We want to make sure that they've all got a chance to show us what they've got on the back of an off season where they've built their body, built their minds. But what we saw last week was really good rugby from a Brumbies, and in a first trial I thought that was an exceptional start to the season, and we've rewarded a lot of those guys by getting another chance this week to keep that combination together. But it certainly helps the players on the field when there's a combination that they're comfortable with or familiar with. It makes their job easier on the field.